What's up? What's up? This your girl, Forever the Realist. Okay. We are live on this gorgeous radio. It's stuck at a green light live show. All right. So, I mean, the vibes is definitely real. Okay. We got the audience up in the building, and today's show is sponsored by Subway. So, shout out to everybody. It's definitely about to be a lit show. The topic of the night is artist entitlement. So, I mean, hey, share your thoughts, put it in the comments, and let me know what's up. So, I mean, hey, it's such a pleasure to welcome our guest for
I
today.
appreciate you.
Yes, let them know what's up.
I'm Capone.
All right, what's up with you? What you got going on? Okay, we got Dacor up in here.
I am CEO of Timeless Vibes
All
Enterprise.
right, what's up with you? What you got going?
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So
I am the
let's get
CEO.
it.
I am the CEO of Timeless Vibes Enterprise, artist as well. Partnered with It's Gorgeous Music. Just signed the distribution partnership with It's Gorgeous Music. So it's 2026 global takeover. That's the focus.
Yeah, definitely global takeover, and it's time. You know what I
That's a
mean? It's
fact.
time to definitely take over. So, tell me more about Timeless Vibes.
Timeless Vibes is a new label I created with a partner of mine's, with an idea with a partner of mine's. But basically, I wanted to start a new label. I wanted to do something different. The vibes is timeless. We want to make music that's timeless, that goes on forever, something that just doesn't stick around for a couple of weeks and here and gone. We want to make music that lasts a long time.
Absolutely. And so, what do you think is going to take for that to happen? Like, what is the recipe
I
for
mean,
longevity?
the recipe for longevity is quality. First of all, you gotta have quality
Yes,
in your music.
big time.
Substance, something people could relate to, something people could, think about, want to go back to and listen to on the good times, on the bad times. You got to have vibes for every different element. You got to have vibes for the sad times, like the Mary J. Blige songs. You got to have those hardcore songs. You got to have a little bit of everything.
Absolutely. I definitely agree. It takes more than just showing up, recording a song. It's a big responsibility, as an artist and the things that you put out into the world. Like, is it something, are you reaching the hearts? You know what I mean? Or are you just doing it just for fun, So,
I mean, music has always been my passion. So even when I stop doing music, it's like it calls me back. It's just something I have to
mhm.
do. Music is part of my life. So I mean, I want to touch the people. I definitely want to touch the people. I try to create anthems when I make music, but I want to make songs that like people can sing back and relate to, basically.
Absolutely. So Decor Capone, all right. What's up with the name? Like what inspired this name?
I mean, my birth name is Corey, so
Okay.
everybody always call me Core. So it just stuck with me. And then growing up, just one of my friends just called me Decor one day. It's like your new name is Decor, and it stuck with me. And at first I didn't have a meaning for it. I just liked it. But then I created an acronym. It stands for the Center of Reality, but not the DA, the Center of Reality. So I came up with the acronym, and then I just stuck with it. And once I call myself Decor, everybody call me Decor. It's 75% of the people that know me, they don't even know my name is Corey. They know me as Dacor.
And that's a stamp in it. Nobody really know me by my real name either. They know me by forever. You feel me? Because it's the legacy, and it says something. You feel me? Like it's more than just like who you are. It's like what you put out. Like how Beyonce got Sasha Fierce. You know what I mean? Like
Yes,
type stuff. It's a movement all
definitely.
within itself.
Definitely.
So where are you from?
I'm from the Bronx. I'm born and raised in the Bronx. Transitioned to Harlem, and then I moved to Florida. I mean, I moved around a few years, but I stuck in Florida. I went to Florida. I liked it there. I loved it there. And I've been living there, planted my seed there. Been there 10 years now.
That's what's up. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So let's talk a little more about the partnership with It's Gorgeous Music. Like so, I know the game plan is just taking over the globe. You know what I mean?
That's a
But
fact. That's a fact.
like in some more detail, like how is this to be done?
I mean, Gorgeous is already doing it. I mean,
Yes, absolutely, big
they're
time.
on a global takeover. I'm just glad to be a part of the team. He saw my vision. He saw what I've already been doing independently. And once me and him sat on a call, it was just meant to happen. I was shopping around for distribution deals, and we just happened to. It was fate. We bumped heads. I met him a few years back at one of his events, and he reached out a few times. I never really got to lock in with him, and then he came to my town. We locked in. I did an event. I brought him to my town back for an event. I promote parties as well, so I brought him to my town for an event, and we launched the label from there.
That's what's up. It's very important what you said about bumping heads with people. Like, I have to point that out there because, we're all different. You know what I'm saying? We come from different backgrounds, different walks of life. But one of my best, like the best experiences that I had, the biggest opportunities have come from people that I actually bumped heads with. You know what I mean? It shows differences. Like, you're not supposed to agree and everything with everything, but for the most part, you get over that, you talk business, and it goes down. You feel me? So that's something I definitely want to point out there. Definitely. Because it is what it is, And so what inspired you to do what you do?
Like I said, music has been a passion of mine my whole life. I always, because I was an artist and I always had the rough road, I couldn't figure it out a lot of times. I always made opportunities for myself. No one ever gave me the opportunity. So because of that, I always saw that I know a lot of artists I know don't have the opportunity. Realistically speaking about the title, artist entitlement, I know most artists just are looking for somebody to make it happen for them. And that's not going to happen. But as the transition of me going from being an artist to a CEO and working with other managing artist deals, I learned the ins and outs. And because I'm older, I decided to focus on working with other artists opposed to me trying to chase a career. I'd rather help other artists and build a company.
Absolutely. I think that is a definite, building, you know what I mean? And so, yes, you touched on the topic of the night. Okay, peoples. Yes, the topic of the night is artist entitlement. I myself, was, I don't want to say that I am an artist, but I do have that artistry in me because, I started off, rapping. The music is still out there. I'm still,
it's a part of you.
It will always be a part of me, but I branched it out and like you said, like in just, guiding other artists and making sure that they, have all the necessary business aspect of things together before putting their music out. Artists, yes, put their music out. They're doing shows. They're not getting paid for these things. You know what I mean? Most of them are not, with being nor ASCAP. So based on the topic of the night, the reason why I chose this topic is because, being in the industry, I've ran into situations where artists feel like they don't have to pay to perform, or they don't have to pay for interviews, or don't have to, pay their dues. I mean, come on now, to hip hop, anything that you do, okay, and whatever.
You got to pay your way. You got to build your worth. You got to invest in yourself.
You have to.
It's funny you said that. I have an artist I had a conversation with recently because like I said, I do shows, I promote parties, I do events for artists. I created everything I do structured around giving a platform for other artists. So an artist asked me one day, why do I always got to pay to perform? And I'm like, I'm not charging you to perform. It's part of the process. I said, but if you can bring out a certain amount of people, then I can pay you or we can negotiate terms. And he's like, oh, well, why can't I just get paid because I'm good? And I'm like, bro, there's a million artists that are good.
Absolutely.
And the promoter aspect of it, how would that make sense for me as a promoter? How would I make money doing that? So artists have to understand that you have to build value in yourself and create something to make people want to invest in.
Value. Okay. It's definite levels to the game. All right. Because, you're getting exposure. You're building a fan base. You have a venue. You have, security. You have food, drinks. You know what I mean? And it's like, I know, like, let's say, we're talking about like a big time artist, shout out to Compton AV. Like, he's definitely doing big things, but that type of caliber of artist brings money to the venue.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it's like, how dare you? So it is a such thing as having the right as an artist to be entitled.
Definitely. But you got to earn that. You definitely.
And then, we're not talking to these artists that has already blown up, like to understand what they had to go through, what it took and everything for them to get to the level to where they are now. You know, I see the people tuning on in. What's up? What's up? If you're tuning in and you have any questions, comments, put it in the comments, because it's definitely a lit situation. We got the live audience popping. Hey, everybody, it's so dope.
How y'all
Such
doing?
a
How y'all
dope
doing?
vibe. We're sponsored tonight by Subway.
Shout out to the sponsors.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, back to value. That's the biggest thing.
That's a
That is the biggest thing. And in order to have value, you have to invest in yourself.
you gotta create brand awareness. You gotta give the people something to believe in and invest in. As an artist, like you said, the biggest thing artists think the entitlement, they think, oh, I shouldn't have to pay. Artists don't want to pay for anything realistically. They think it should be handed to them. But
why? Like that's the thing.
And I can give it to you from both aspects. As an artist who put a lot of work in. Now, every artist hasn't put in a lot of work. I've put in my 1,000 hours plus and all of that. But as an artist who's been around, when the first pay to play process started for me, I looked at it crazy because I never knew about that. Because I come from, like I said, I've been behind the scenes for a while. So I've gotten paid to perform. I've opened up for artists, mainstream, B-level artists, all different type of scenarios. So in that, when the algorithm, I would say when the time of social media started and everything became about popularity, my wave disappeared. I couldn't just get paid. They wouldn't call me, hey, I got a couple $100 for you to perform for this guy, because they got a guy who got 10,000 followers who's gonna, even if he can't bring out a crowd, he has 10,000 followers. So they went off for that for a while. So when that whole started, that's when it became harder for artists like me to eat. But I always managed to figure out a way. But main thing is, I always wanted to create a way for other artists, because like I said, I know that most artists don't know what it takes. And I know at this point, I know what it takes, but I don't really want to focus on the artistry anymore. I want to focus on the executive side of things and giving artists the chances that they need, the opportunity that they need. Because most artists just think, a couple of artists I'm working with right now, they're still winging it. They're still just recording songs and putting out music. And I'm like, where's the rollout? We have a process for everything we need to do structured. It has to be structured, or not, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it really doesn't. We are in a time of, social media and following and view numbers, but the complication with that is smoke and mirrors. Like a lot of times, people want to get paid. They want to get paid from these platforms and things of that nature. So a lot of times the following is fake, the views is fake. So you can't necessarily just say, "Oh, okay, well, I'm current and I'm cool because I have
you can't believe it.
You know what I'm saying? It's all in motion.
It's like a few years back, Jay-Z said, "Men lie, women lie, numbers don't." Now they do. You can't believe the numbers. You can't, because a person has 100,000 followers or 1,000,000 followers. You can buy followers now. There's so many ways to trick the system. So you really have to be consistent and diligent. And with me, even though social media is popular, I still want to touch in real time. Like when I go to shows, I still have merch. I'm hand to hand with the people. I'm still networking face to face, shaking hands, touching people. Like I really want to be in the crowd, because I feel like even with social media, meeting and building a following on social media, those people you meet face to face and have conversations with, those become the long-term fans and friends that you meet and grow with throughout your time.
Absolutely. And I've come from a place of, I went to school for music business. And it's more than just being able to create something. It is a business structure. You yourself as a person is a brand.
As a brand, that's a fact.
Is a brand. You got to look at everything like that. Like when you're looking at Benz's or McDonald's or Marshalls, like all these like different businesses that are out there. And then even if you look at the car aspect of the difference between like a Toyota and a Bentley, you know what I mean?
You can tell the difference.
Yes, what is happening here to where I got to pay this much for this car and pay that much for that car, right?
They set their standard.
Yes, it's the value within itself. So how should an artist handle the gap between what they perceive as them being value and what is actual value to the market, to the world?
Reality. I'll say like this. where your fans at.
Where your fans at? Where
Um,
your
if
fans
you got a
at?
show,
That
how many people can you bring out?
that was a dope answer.
Thank you.
But yeah,
If
how
you
many
got a show,
people
how
can
many
you
people
bring out?
can you
Yes.
bring
What
out?
is the quality?
If I post your flyer or a link with your that you're performing, how many tickets will get sold based on that? That's how we have to be able to monetize people's value as artists, because if we just go by, oh, this person has 20,000 followers, I've booked artists that had 5,000 followers and did bring 10 people to the show. So
That's the
that really doesn't
thing.
matter.
That's the thing. You know what I mean? That's definitely what it is. I mean, but do you believe do you believe society has an inherent moral obligation to fund artists regardless of market demands?
In a way, yes, but if you're really a fan of the culture,
Mm-hmm.
if music doesn't mean anything, then it's not your responsibility. But to
Mm-hmm.
the people who are injected into the culture, who believe in the culture, who want the culture to continue, we
Mm-hmm.
have to invest in artistry,
Mm-hmm.
whether it be music, whether it be graffiti, whether it be clothing and fashion. That's all forms of art. But if we don't continue to invest in it, it'll die out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know, I like that you do both. You know, as far as the artistry side and, you know, the business side, like, you know, in what you're doing, you know, congratulations with that,
Thank
you
you.
know, because a lot of artists don't want to deal with the business side of things. You know, that's why they have, you know, managers and, you know, things of that nature.
Well, for me, I feel like one, you have to do it all to understand the business. Most artists just want a manager because they want someone to do the work for them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and in reality, it's not gonna happen that way. If you do find this miracle person that does the work for you, besides you just be an artist and make the music, then guess what? That person owns you, and you probably
That
owe
part.
them everything, and you're probably gonna make things off your music, and you're gonna own it because they paid for everything, they
Mm-hmm.
invested. So like even like with artists I work with right now, it's a partnership. I'm not signing an artist and selling them a dream like, hey, I'm gonna take you across the world and make you a millionaire. What is your budget that you work with? And I'll work with your budget. I'll invest my budget with your budget, match your budget, and we can magnify that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, in the times of, you know, artists being like, I guess, internet sensations, you know, being able to be independent.
Mm-hmm.
You have distribution, you know what I mean? Do you really believe that management is necessary or being a part of a label is necessary? And if so, in this time, how?
Okay. First and foremost, managing what?
Mhm,
Because
mhm, mhm,
most
mhm.
artists want a manager and they just make music, or and they haven't even got a certain amount of following or created a demand for what they're doing yet. So to have a manager, again, they want the person to do all the work for them. They expect someone to show them how to take this music that they've made and make it millions of dollars. And it's steps and levels to do that. You can't just go from, oh, I got this dope song. And even the people that have been those one hit wonders and have made it that way, there was a trajectory in that process. There was
Mhm.
steps, there were people behind the scenes, there was investments, there was dollars put, there was a lot of steps to make those things happen. Even those one hit wonders or those overnight sensations, they technically weren't overnight. There was always work behind the scenes to make those things happen. So you have to invest no matter how you look at it. If you don't invest in yourself as an artist is, like you said, you're a brand. You're technically a business.
Mhm.
So if you're not investing in yourself, if you just, first of all, every step of it costs money. The artist gets paid last, realistically. You have to
Mhm.
pay for the studio time.
Mhm.
You have to pay for the video shoot. You got to get the beat. You got to pay for the beats, the production. You got to pay for everything. And then once you get the music out, you got to pay to get on the platforms. You got to pay for
Yes.
marketing. You got to pay for promotion.
Yes.
So it's steps to this. And most artists think, oh, I just got this fire song and everybody wants to listen to it. And then they put it out, they sizzle, they get upset because they got 10 streams
Mhm.
and nobody heard you. So how, and even if you have 200 followers, 20% of those people will probably actually hear the song in the beginning when you drop it. It'll take a while for those people to actually get wind of it. So you have to consistently work to get people to pay attention. And nowadays with the here now, here today, gone tomorrow aspect of things, if you're not consistent, people are gonna forget about you, even if you are hot.
Yeah, big time, big time. And in the world of, AI technology, and in the world of, like we spoke on, like, social media, what do you think the future is for labels? Because I know, there's labels that are existing, and they're here to put you out there to help with that value that you must have as an artist to expect things for free. So I believe that labels will always be necessary, but it's not like back in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, oh, you got a $1 million deal and let's break that down. People look at, oh, $1 million deal. You know what I'm saying? Understanding what that entails. Right. So that's why a lot of people, like, you've had TLC and abundance of many others will be sitting here that's been screwed, what are your thoughts on that aspect?
I mean, I didn't have a traditional deal, but I have been signed to a sub label before.
Mm-hmm.
So I've saw a traditional contract, and
Yeah.
I've been around people who signed traditional contracts. So I've saw that aspect of it. So a label, a contract or an advance or whatever they want to call it from a label is basically a loan. It's like
you got to pay it back.
It's like taking a loan from a bank with
Yes.
a maximum amount of interest. It's like a person with the worst credit in the world taking a loan from a bank with the highest interest possible. That's basically what a record deal is.
Mm-hmm.
So nowadays, if you're smart, you start your own business and invest in yourself and build your credit up and invest in multiple other streams of income, because music is not going to be the catalyst. Music might make a lot of money, but there's going to be a lot of other factors. Like myself, I have a food truck. I'm in the process of starting a business. That's how I invest in my music. One of my main artists, he has a pressure washer company and a roofing company. It's not just making music and thinking it's going to get out there. You're going to have to do a lot of investing to get that music to where you want it to be.
Yeah, you definitely do. And it's in today's time, it's competition with bigger names.
Yes.
Now you're able to put your music on all platforms. So now you're in competition with people like Cardi B, with people like Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? Jay-Z Kendrick Lamar and whatnot. You know what I mean? So yeah, you may not, having
then you're in competition with all the independent artists as well, who's trying to figure out their way in to get their fans and their streams up or playlists, whatever they need to do to get their following up. So you're competing with every single artist in the world every single day.
Yeah. So the game actually got harder. You know what I mean? Like big time, especially if you're trying to be independent. I mean, I do got to ask this question, like about selling your soul. What does that mean to you? Like when you hear artists, I hear that a lot. I hear, not only just artists, like actors, everybody, like always like this talk about selling your soul. Being an independent artist, like, do you believe, because we're in competition with these big people and we do have to see what we're competing against, do you still believe that you could still sell your soul as an independent artist just to be relevant and have value in the game?
Most content creators in this day and age are selling their soul every day.
Like smoke and mirrors. Like I said, they doing what they gotta do to get the views. They doing what they gotta do to get, whatever.
Everybody's just trying to get insta fame or that moment of gratification, that viral moment to try to take them to the next level. So yeah, most people are doing whatever it takes in any way, and that's a big thing I think is a problem for a lot of artists nowadays, because you can't just be an artist. Even if you don't want to do the business side of things, you got to be an artist, you got to be a content creator, you got to be a graphic designer, or you got to have multiple people and be willing to pay. So no matter how you do it, you have to invest in yourself. You got to invest the time to learn these crafts and be able to do multiple different things, or you got to invest in multiple different people. That's just the way the business works.
Yes, and building and relationship building.
That's a fact.
Shoot, people be like, oh, I'm tripping off my credit. It's going to be a time when credit is obsolete because everybody got businesses.
No, that's a
You know
fact.
what I mean? So it's all about, who you know.
That's a fact. It's a saying everybody knows. Your network is your net worth. All the things that I've done in music came from a relationship.
See?
Literally,
Yes.
like I
Everything that
meet
I've done
people,
too is what and what
can
I
I have
yes.
conversations, I get other
Yes.
opportunities, I show up, I show out, more opportunities, more networking. That everything I've done in music has been done based off a relationship.
Yes, yes. And I notice a lot of artists too with this cockiness, you know what I mean? Like back to the entitlement of it all, this cockiness that they have, like, well, I want to answer that and I don't want to do this and that. And, knowing that they're burying themselves deeper and deeper in being in an unsuccessful
I think that comes
situation.
from there was a time when that persona was the most respected as an
Mm-hmm.
artist. So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of artists feel like they have to be that way. Like a lot of artists are looking or trying to create an image when reality is the fans want you. They want to know who you are. They want to be able to relate to the person. So nowadays it's not so much of the image you have, it's is this image real? Are you really a
Mm-hmm.
person that I can relate to? Can I
Mm-hmm.
like these people think that they're friends, like, and they know the people that they're fans of. So for that to happen, they have to feel like they have a connection with you.
Mm-hmm. Have to, and that's why we have shows like this. You know what I'm saying? Like Stuck in a Green Light Live show. It is to get people to see your character, to see your thoughts on these type of questions and who you are. It's not just about your music, it's about who you are as an individual.
That's a
You
fact.
know what I mean? And that's what will build you and build you as well. So it's not just a money thing,
No, I
it's
get
a
it.
time thing. And time is priceless. But it's worth it.
It's
You
an
have to do
investment.
it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's just as valuable as money. You know what I
Sometimes
mean?
more.
Period.
I have kids, so a lot of times when I'm traveling or doing my music, I'm taking away that time from my kids. And a lot of my friends who have kids, they're not willing to make the same sacrifices, so they don't understand what it takes.
Hmm.
And some people just don't invest in themselves in no type of way. They just want it to happen. I'm dope, so I'm gonna be famous one
Yeah, they call it like the microwave
day.
microwave generation, which is long gone. Like, and I don't even think it was ever there. I mean, unless you're, what? I don't even want to say Puff Daddy because he
I
didn't put
say
himself,
I
but
don't
Puff Daddy's son or some or
know,
somebody's
like you said,
kids or
industry
cousins.
plans.
There we go.
Most of those
Yes.
people that we thought were overnight successes or instant stars, they were
Hmm.
industry plans. Their father, their uncle, a lot of these people, family owns the company that put out the song. We just never knew that. But a lot of these
Hmm.
people were behind the scenes the whole time. A lot of these stars that we see on TV now were behind the scenes stars when they weren't stars, but they were behind the scenes actors when they were kids. A lot of these rappers and singers, they were the celebrities' kids in the studio just running
Hmm.
around, kicking things around when they were kids, and they just it became their lifestyle.
Yes. And so what is really fascinating to me is that, you know what I mean? And so when you are just from scratch, how important it is for the relationship building, for the time, for the travel. Speaking of travel, what are your thoughts on going on tour at this day and age? I know it's like a very expensive thing, knowing that social media is popping the way it is. Do you think going on tours is still relevant?
Like I said, me personally, I think it's important. It's
Mhm.
mandatory because
It's
you have to touch the
mandatory.
people.
It's
Like
mandatory.
I said, you're gonna gain fans over social media. But you're gonna still have to stay consistent for them fans to stick with you. You might shake
Mm.
a person's hand and have a conversation with a person that'll never forget you. And then I have fans right now that I haven't put out music in years, and when I drop a snippet or a little video of something I'm working on, they're like, "This is what I've been waiting for."
Mhm,
And I haven't
mhm,
dropped any music, so that shows that those are the connections that are important.
mhm,
Most of my
mhm,
people that listen to me or see me from social media, they're like, "Okay, he got something out new, cool." Next, on
mhm,
to the next person.
mhm,
So I really
mhm,
feel like touring is important. I love touring. Personally, I love performing. So I love to
mhm.
be, even though I'm falling back from the artist part of it, I still love to touch the stages. So I feel like that's important. And you really get to see the people's reaction in real time to your
In real
music when you
time.
perform.
In real time. Yes, yes. And so let's dive into the relevance of music videos. These things used to be scarce and hard to get to. So that's why you had, MTV and the box. You guys remember the box and all
Mm-hmm.
that? Music videos today, is more so like a presentation.
Yeah.
It's a presentation. Like this is the song, I'm the artist, and this is that. Like, you know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm
It doesn't
saying?
have to be a theatrical moment every time nowadays.
Yes, I mean, shout out to Loretta because I mean, come on
Yes,
now,
Larash is
like,
one of my favorite artists. He's definitely a
yes,
dope
I
artist.
mean, he's like video what? Like I'm about to bounce on the ground, like I'm about to, you know what I'm saying? Everybody can. It's an energy field. That's
Hmm.
all life is. It's energy.
But nowadays, I
So
feel
bring
like,
that energy out,
yes, definitely
and whatever type of content that you could
capturing the
create,
content.
not just
Yes,
music, because that's a lot of money. But to be cost effective, if since money would be such a big deal, content like that, like you know what I'm
I,
saying? The competitive world between content and music videos is not the same.
I feel like content creation now. Content is king when it comes to promoting your music.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
you have to.
Definitely.
I feel like those little 15-minute snips, 15-second snips. Pardon me. Those little 15-second or 30-second snips that people put out for their music, for those little part of their song, it gets more traction than when a person puts 500, $1,000 behind a music video and does this whole big production. Then they got to pay for promotion of that music video when they could have did those 3 or 4, 5 snips
Mm-hmm.
and got 10,000 views, 5,000 views, 300, whatever the number is, but multiply that number by just putting out multiple pieces of content opposed to
There
putting
you
out one big
go.
video. So yeah, content is king.
Yes, yes. Content is everything. So content creation. Okay. But still quality. Come
Quality.
on now, quality. We're talking about the self-value of an artist in itself. You know what I mean? So, like I said, when you think of any other thing that costs a lot of money, Louis Vuitton, anything, like just the quality in it and why is it this much? You know what I mean? So, big thing. So, I mean, you explained before that you were into doing music and things of that nature. So what music do you have out today?
So
let's
currently,
let's dive
let's
into
dive into it.
let's dive into
So
that.
currently, I don't have any music on streaming platforms right now. I'm about to re-release all my music through It's Gorgeous Music platform.
That part.
Um, I'm working on an EP that should be complete by Valentine's Day. So the goal is to drop that by the end of February. And I'm working with my artists on a compilation, a Timeless Vibes compilation album that I want to get out before the summer. But the goal is to start releasing singles over the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, so EP is very important. It's a little, how can I say, like a glimpse of what it is. Like,
Yes.
an EP could be like, 3 to 5 songs. You know what I mean? And then you base your whole content, your branding, your merch, and everything that's all around it, and just stay consistent with that. So and also like, with an EPK,
Mhm.
having a digital presentation, for people to see and to even see, okay, well, you got this going on, you got that going on. Well, okay, I will pay you to be at this event. Well, I will, you know what I mean? So even
Important.
having that aspect of
It's
what you're
important.
doing together as well, you know what I
Definitely,
mean? So it's
definitely.
dope that you're doing those wonderful things,
Thank you, thank you.
so I'm looking forward to that, So we're gonna dive into it with the stuck at a green light moment. Okay. Yes, stuck at a green light moment. Let's talk about it. When you hear stuck at a green light, though, before I let the people know what it is, when you hear stuck at a green light, what does that mean to you?
So I'm a smoker, right? So I done had times. I think everybody has had them times where they was, just high and you smoking, or you have been smoking. Now you driving, going somewhere, or you on your way home, and the light change, but you stuck. That is green. That's what comes to mind when I hear that.
I mean, well, with stuck at a green light, it's like an oxymoronic statement because you're supposed to go green lights. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is you saying? But being stuck, why? What is the reason? So basically, over here, stuck at a green light. That green light is those opportunities. That green light is those goals. That green light is your grind. That green light is how you gonna make it, or what you gonna do to make it, or anything of that aspect. So it's like, well, what has you stuck? And it could be an abundance of things, even things that's out of your control. But the whole thing about the stuck at a green light movement is to keep going. Is to keep going. So I just want you to share with the people a stuck at a green light moment in your life, to where, it was times when you was like, dang, I just want to give up, I just want to stop, you know what I mean? But you kept going, and now you're sitting here, you're on It's Gorgeous Radio on the Stuck at a Green Light live show. You're partnering with Gorgeous Music. You got artists under your belt, you got the music flowing, and you got, a family as well. You know what I'm saying? So share with the people, a stuck at a green light moment for you, and how did you, smash through it?
That's a perfect question. So almost 2 years ago today, I lost my mom. She was like my best friend. Um, in that time, I took care of her for almost a year before she passed. And she told me close to her deathbed, not on her deathbed, but she made me promise her that I'd never give up on my dreams. And
Yes,
I
yes.
hadn't even been doing music. I was playing around in the studio, but I hadn't really been recording for a while or even doing shows or anything. But when she said that to me and I made that promise to her, something sparked in me. So when she passed, within 30 days, I started performing again, and something sparked in me instantly. I did my first show and I never looked back.
Yeah.
And then about 6 months ago, I started doing my showcases and promoting parties again. And the whole label thing is something I've always wanted to do. Like I said, I had a label before. It wasn't as successful as I wanted. So in the process of doing my events, working with artists, it just seemed like it was everything fell right into place.
Mhm.
And me and It's Gorgeous bumped into each other. We communicated. We hadn't talked in a while. We had a long conversation about the future and goals and what I was doing, because he saw what I was doing and the consistency I started. I hadn't been consistent for years, but he started to see the consistency building. So after we had that conversation, I knew it was just meant to happen, and we've
There
been
you
going
go.
from there.
There you go. I and my condolences, because I've
I
lost my
appreciate
my
that.
mom as well. And it's something to look at when these stuck at a green light moments make you want to smash. You know what I mean? Because when my mom passed away, it was like, okay, um now it's just me and God, or me and whoever so it's time to really get to work. You know what I mean? I always say it's a time and place for everything. You know what I mean? It's a time to be sad, it's a time to let go, it's a time to be happy. You know what I mean? And it's like, yes, these things happen and they do impact you, but you just don't get stuck there. You
No,
know what
that's
I'm
a
saying?
fact.
We inspiring people to keep going, pursuing your dreams, pursuing your goals.
Never give up.
Never give up. Well, definitely lit. The topic for tonight was artist entitlement. Why? Why do you feel entitled? Like, what is that? What does that mean? You know what I mean? I think we just touched on so many different aspects of that. You know, um, Dacor Capone. Like, I just really, really thank you for being on
Thank
the
you.
Stuck at a Green Light Live show.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, it was definitely a lit situation. Tonight's show is sponsored by Subway.
Shout out to the sponsors.
Shout out to Subway. Shout out to the live audience.
Shout out
You
to
know
the
what I'm
audience.
saying? Yes, we got
Shout
the
out to It's Gorgeous Music.
yeah. Shout out to It's Gorgeous Music. It's definitely gorgeous over here because I'm gorgeous.
Shout out to my label, Timeless
Literally.
Vibes.
You know what I mean? So every Saturday, media day. All right. So give a grin, tell a friend, because it definitely goes down right here. Okay. It's Gorgeous Radio, Stuck at a Green Light live show. What a dope situation.
Thank you.
Let's get it. Let's go.